The Fox News decision desk can now project New York City has elected Democrat Assemblyman Zohran Mamdani to be its next mayor.
Mamdani's never given anybody a job. That we have. The taxpayers have.
The Democrat Party is now exposed for being the Communist Party. This is not socialist. This is communism.
My goodness, we've got a socialist, anti-Semite, pro-Hamas guy as mayor of New York.
He's been called anti-Semitic a bunch of times during this campaign. He could have eased that during his speech and didn't. In fact, he spoke in Arabic.
I mean, this is a guy who does embrace Marxist economics. He claims he's going to lower everyone's costs by having the government run grocery stores, and the only people that would think that would work are people who have never studied a lick of history.
The only thing that Zohran Mamdani didn't promise to New Yorkers today was a pony for every 10-year-old girl.
What's up, everybody? Major Retired Richard Ojeda here, and how in the hell did we get so damn unlucky? When did America decide that smart leadership didn't matter anymore? We handed our entire country, our banking system, our national security, our leadership in NATO and the European alliance, our place in the world to a carnival-barking, demented orange slob with multiple felonies and 6 bankruptcies under his belt. And because we put a con man in charge, we bred an entire movement of people who think every educated person is a threat. Which brings us to right now, all this anti-Zohran Mamdani hysteria that they're throwing around.
You've got so many people who depend on the government for either aid or a paycheck. And when that is stopped, they're going to blame the party in power. And when Republicans have the House, the Senate, and the President, they don't understand all the details of filibuster. I mean, they understand the Republicans are in control, and that check's in jeopardy.
President Trump is weighing in. He just posted on Truth Social, quote, Trump wasn't on the ballot and shut down were the 2 reasons that Republicans lost elections tonight. Charlie Hurt.
That's a very Trumpian message.
And everything I think we've seen tonight suggests that when he's not on the ballot, even if he's trying to influence the ballots, if he's not on there himself, his voters are much less interested than they might otherwise be.
Donald Trump is sort of like kryptonite in a place like Virginia. Virginia is never going to, even Republicans are sort of a little bit wary of Donald Trump.
All this Fox News hysteria is nothing but fodder for the MAGA cult. It's pure emotional junk food designed to light up the empty skulls of the mindless minions who worship Donald Trump and regurgitate every word he says like cattle chewing cud. These people repeat whatever nonsense falls out of Donald Trump's mouth or blasts across Fox News. And they're the same undereducated crowd Trump brags about loving. Hannity, Waters, the whole moronic crew at Fox pumps them full of garbage because they know their audience understands life on a 3rd grade level.
Democratic Party is the party of socialists. There was a recent poll out from Data for Progress, a left-wing organization. It found 51% of likely Democratic voters preferred the Sanders, AOC, Zohran Mamdani types over people like Chuck Schumer, Hakeem Jeffries, Nancy Pelosi. The Democratic Party is moving left. They're moving organized. They're organized, and they're radical.
This is resentment politics. This is grievance politics. This is you have something and I'm going to take it from you and give it to my supporters.
The socialists have taken over the leadership of their party. He is declaring himself the face of it.
We have lived communism, socialism out here in California, and Zohran is now just fully embraced it. And the Democrat Party really will have an identity crisis if they don't get in check with the party base.
These are the folks cheering on the destruction of the White House, the public school system, their rural hospitals, their family farms, and they're too damn stupid to realize how stupid they really are. It's textbook Dunning-Kruger, the dumbest people in the room, convinced that they're somehow the smartest. It's ironic, too, that the ones who are yelling, "Stop the steal," are the ones being stolen from. And all they can do, all they ever do, is blame Joe Biden and pretend that they've got some moral high ground, pointing fingers at Antifa and BLM. But the truth is simple. Antifa won world wars, and MAGA smeared shit on the Capitol walls. They are not the same. And that's the thing. The second they start feeding at the fox trough, swallowing that rhetorical slop and spitting it back up like it's gospel, that noise you hear, that's the MAGA mating call. And you don't have to look far to find them squealing. And this all started the second the American people gave Donald Trump the big middle finger on the November 4th elections. The results came in fast, hard, and overwhelming. None of us expected it to hit that quick. First it was Virginia, then New Jersey, then Pennsylvania, one after another, each one sending MAGA deeper into a full-blown emotional collapse. But New York? Oh, New York was the one that they had poured all their F your feelings fantasies into. And when Mamdani won, fast, brutal, and by an absolute landslide, he blew the damn roof off of MAGA, and they lost it.
Just raises a lot of questions about whether or not anybody but President Trump can move the ball in these kinds of places.
And as far as the Trump impact on the Cheryl voters, the reason for their vote, the Cheryl voters vote, those who said that they wanted to oppose the sitting president, 71% of them.
Hannity started melting down on live TV. Kellyanne Conway, Trump's minister of misinformation, jumped in with her usual dumpster fire of lies, acting like the world was ending. And let's not forget, Trump personally endorsed Cuomo like he was some knight in shining armor. MAGA followers treated him like the second coming of Giuliani before he needed a pardon and started selling snow globes in the White House gift shop. And to top it all off, you had his opponent out there rambling like he'd been yanked straight out of a 1940s war reel about what it means to be a real American, like we're living in some damn black and white propaganda film. The whole thing was a full-scale clown parade. This is the part that Fox News is still choking on. Zohran Mamdani won. Big. The Fox News decision desk practically wet their britches on live television. They had spent weeks convincing their audience that Mamdani was going to impose Sharia law, outlaw Christmas, burn the Constitution, and turn Times Square into Tehran. And then reality hit them in the face at 90 miles an hour. Because here's the truth. The guy was literally out there campaigning with the LGBTQ plus community. You think a man embraced by every corner of New York's diverse population is secretly plotting a theoretic takeover? Get the hell out of here. The only people dumb enough to believe that fantasy are the same 5'3" obese MAGA morons who don't know the difference between indicted and indoctrinated. These are the cult members Fox panders to, the people who swear they're experts on Islam, economics, foreign policy, urban planning, and history, yet can't even pass a basic civics exam. They're screaming about Sharia law when they couldn't spell the damn word if you spotted them the S and the H and half the alphabet. And Fox feeds them this garbage because it works. It terrifies the proudly undereducated, the ones who think a brown man with a degree automatically means the apocalypse. That's who Fox is talking to. That's who they're melting down for. And that's why Mamdani's win caused the biggest crash out in Fox News history. Because nothing terrifies these people more than intelligence, diversity, and democracy actually working. MAGA got smoked like a cheap cigar on election night. And Fox News has been scrambling ever since to convince their audience it didn't happen. They're out here manufacturing hysteria, spoon-feeding conspiracies, and coddling a base that reacts to reality like spoiled little brats with third-grade educations, crying like schoolgirls with their knees skinned up because the world didn't go their way. The truth is simple. They lost because they're weak, pathetic losers who spent years worshiping a con man instead of learning a damn thing about how their own government works. And now, the moment an educated brown man with popular, functioning policies steps up on the stage and wins in a landslide, the entire MAGA universe collapses like a wet cardboard box. Fox can spin it, MAGA can scream it, but the bottom line is this. They got beat, they got embarrassed, and the only people surprised are the ones dumb enough to believe their own nonsense. This wasn't just a loss. This wasn't just a bad night. This was their reckoning. This was the moment reality ripped the mask off and showed them exactly what they've become. A loud, angry minority screaming at a country that's moving on without them. For years, they strutted around talking about their Independence Day, the second Trump took office, bragging about how they were taking their country back. Well, congratulations. The curtain finally got pulled back. And instead of some patriotic uprising, all they found staring back at them was an orange con man. And the cherry on top, they're realizing, slowly, painfully, that most Americans don't want what they're selling. They don't want conspiracies. They don't want culture war trash. They don't want a twice impeached felon ranting about windmills and sharks. They want competent leadership, functioning policies, diversity, representation, and results. And MAGA can't compete with that. And that is an absolute fact. Sappers clear the way, airborne all the way.